This fly has probably caught more fish on the lower Sacramento, McLeod, upper Sacramento rivers, and Hat Creek than any others, and it's that important that we sell almost 12,000 a year. Today we're going to be tying Pat's Rubberlegs. So we have a dark brown number 6 Pat's Rubberlegs with super floss legs and antenna and tails chucked up here in the vise. This fly is super fishy because of the chenille. Looks all segmented once you get it wet. And these legs, if you leave them long enough, are going to move around in the water and look like it's alive. Fish absolutely love this thing. Okay, all right, to tie this, we're going to start off with a 5263, 2 times heavy, 3 times long. The chenille we're going to use is going to be medium, and you can go with different colors. That's another good reason why you'd want to tie this. This is dark brown and olive, light olive. We're going to use dark brown, some 25 thousandths lead-free wire. You want to make sure that you have enough weight to get this thing down in front of the fish. And then it's also going to add some bulk to the body. And then the secret ingredient, super floss. This is caddis green. For whatever reason, the fish love it. So to get this started, make sure you have your hook chucked up in the vise and secured very well. We're going to be putting some tension on the chenille and the thread. And start your wire back here. Make sure there's enough space back here to tie on some legs. About 3 or 4 wraps, and then you can wind it forward. Use a lot of tension. Just bring it forward, and it's not going to come off. Advance it all the way to behind the eye with just enough space to tie in your antenna. That should work. I'll go right about there. Nuke that. Get rid of that. All right. I don't know how many wraps that is. That's enough. All right. This is 140 denier UTC black thread. Let's get it started on here. And now for the antenna and legs, we're going to tie them in all at once. We need a piece that's about that long. You don't have to be exact. Make sure that the antennae are hanging off the front enough so that they're long enough. Use a pinch wrap and some loose wraps and advance your thread up to just behind the eye. And at this point, if they're not where you want them, you can reposition them. Use a couple of tight wraps and bring it back to just in front of the lead. You can reposition them if you need. Now grab these bad boys here, stretch them back, and advance your thread, wind it back to just behind the lead right there. Now to get these to splay out on either side of the hook, the best way to do that is to hold them down on either side of the hook here, like that, and then wind the thread back to the bend, and just like that, they'll splay. You can release a little bit of tension, reposition them. All right, next we're going to tie in our chenille. So make sure you have enough of a hank of chenille that's long enough so that you don't get all crowded once you get up towards the eye. Get rid of some of the fluff and use a pinch wrap to tie down the chenille in the back here. Secure both the strands, and then you're going to advance the thread up to about halfway to 2/3 of the shank. So proportion wise, we're going to start weaving the legs in up here, and that's about, you want it to be anatomically correct, so I'm going to tie the legs in on the bottom of the hook. All right, you're going to take a new hank of your super floss and then make 3 roughly long enough pieces for your legs. They don't have to be even, but they have to be long enough. And then roughly in the center, use a couple of loose wraps to tie them on the bottom like this, and then come across the other way gather them up and come across the other way with a couple of loose wraps. And at this point, what you can do, if they're loose, you can then grab them and rearrange them and put them exactly where you want them. That looks about right. And once you have them where you want them, you can use one tight wrap and one more tight wrap and use a lot of tension and just smoke it down and move your thread up to just behind the eye. And those things are in there, they're not coming out. Grab the legs, and this is going to keep them out of the way when you advance the chenille, the tie, to make the body, to form the body. So gather them up and then take your thread and wrap it over 2 times, and then give yourself plenty of thread here. And now we're ready to start the body. So this is where a rotary feature on the vise comes in real handy. Start your chenille, and you can really stack it up and make it really thick like this. I like to just do even wraps. Advance it evenly up to about halfway, which is right about there. And keep some tension on your chenille. And at this point we can release the legs, and this is where the most fidgety part of this whole fly comes in. You're going to want to take some time so it looks good. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to grab the first leg. This one looks like the most likely candidate, and then trap it with the chenille and hold it with some pressure. Now I only use 1 wrap in between each leg. You can use 2 if you like. Advance it about half a turn and then grab the next leg, and I'm going to use this candidate. Well, maybe not. Okay, yeah, that leg, and then use some tension to trap it down. And then for the next, I kind of lost track of where I was. Okay, for the next leg, I'm going to trap it, keep that tension, come back, trap the next one. And then here you can see it's starting to grab the legs up here. You don't have to be a master weaver, but it helps. Make sure that's free and this is free. And then I'm going to grab the last one and get a wrap in front of it. And get a wrap in front of this one. And at this point it's probably easiest just to use and hand wrap it forward. And you want to advance the chenille all the way to just behind the eye of the hook. You don't want to crowd it. And once you're there, you can use 1 wrap of thread, make it pretty tight, hold it down, grab your legs and your antenna, and make 2 or 3 wraps right behind the eye. And at this point we're going to cut off the chenille. Just bring your scissors down flat, chop it, should be good. And to finish up the tying portion, we're going to put it in a whip finish. And so gather all the legs and the antenna out of the way, like that. And put about 3 to 5 solid wraps in there. Make it super tight. Nuke the thread. And the tying portion's done. Now you can see the antenna are kind of cockeyed, so you can just grab them and pull them and separate them and put them where you want to. Same with the legs. Legs are kind of wonky, they're going all over the place. All right, so what we're going to do now to finish everything up is we're going to even out the legs. These things go all over the place, so having them longer is better. So gather them up from the bottom, pull them all up, and I'm going to chop these off probably right about there. And I'm going to go ahead and even out the antenna and the tails. And there you go. Pat's Rubberlegs. Probably not the prettiest one I've ever tied, but these things are killer in the river. Any of the freestones up here. You could tie this thing on your indicator rig and tie it and fish it for the next 3 months and catch a ton of fish. Super durable. And while you're at it, go ahead and tie up a dozen of these and go fish. Check out our webpage. We've got a great fly fishing kids camp for kids aged 10 to 15. If you have a kid or know someone's kid that wants to get into fly fishing, this is a great way to do it. It's Bryan Quick with the Fly Shop. Get out there and fish as much as you can.